Okay, next up is the famous and very expensive Grave Raven binary fusion spinner. It comes shipped from the company in this little box with blue paper, and the spinner itself is in this little box. You get these cards. Mine is serial number C343, and it's made of tungsten copper, 70%, 30%. 70% tungsten, 30% copper. And it says here with a little thing that's a little instruction sheet that's attached. It's a CNC milled piece, and it has a hybrid bearing in it, which is shielded, and a few other little details about it that aren't terribly important. But what we have here in the box, the Grave Raven box, is the Grave Raven binary fusion, and I've got the one that's tungsten copper with copper buttons, and it is a nice little bi-spinner. The thing that would really surprise me about it, I didn't realize it was this small. It's actually a really small spinner, so it's not super heavy, and the feel of it is pretty good. It's kind of feels like any other small spinner would feel, small bi-spinner would feel. The edges are very well smoothed, so you just kind of slide off of it, but the buttons do have good grip, so it's not a problem holding on to it. So this one has an interesting bearing in it. It's a shielded bearing. I haven't had much luck with those in the past. We're going to see how long this guy spins. This one, of course, I bought direct from the company, and it's brand new right now. It's not going to be brand new by the time I get done with it, because I'm going to beat it up pretty good. So, Grave Raven up next. Testing starts now. Okay, so I got done testing the Grave Raven. It did really well on spin times. When it held horizontally, it was a little over 7 minutes, very consistently around 7 minutes and 15 seconds. So it was very consistent in that, no matter how it was held horizontally. But vertically, it got anywhere from about it's about 11 to 12 minutes vertically. So that introduced a lot of variability into the scoring system, and with my scoring system, that's going to be a penalty because there's a lot of variability here. It's going to get a whole point knocked off of its score because just because of the variability. But this thing does run a lot longer horizontally or vertically than horizontally by quite a bit. But it gets good long spin times. It's a legitimate long spinner. As for the appearance, I gave it a 7. I thought it looks okay. It's not fantastic looking. Feel, I gave it an 8. It actually feels really good. It's a nice little small bi-spinner. Feels really nice. It's really smooth. Kind of silky, actually. So it's fun to play with. Has a good feel to it. Perceived quality, I gave it a 10. It seems like it's a very high quality piece, and the bearing is actually, despite the fact that it's a shielded bearing, it held up really well, and it spun very long. So it's got a very good bearing in it. The weight is 76 grams. I would have kind of hoped that, you know, with this, with something made of tungsten copper, I would have hoped that it would have been a little bigger so it could have weighed a little bit more, because the weight is not really that great, despite the fact that it's a tungsten spinner. I'm having a little trouble figuring out exactly how much I paid for this, because they've got this funny thing on their website where if you join their wait list, they give you a code when they're ready to ship, and you type the code in and it gives you the correct fee, or the price. If you try to look at the price without that code, it says it's like $1,200, and it's obviously it's not $1,200. I think I paid about $175 for this, so it's not. It's a pretty pricey one, but it's not like $1,200 if you look at it on their website. But you have to get on their waiting list to get one of these, or pick one up on eBay if someone's selling one. I'd kind of prefer to get one of these new though, right from the company. I don't know if I would trust one that wasn't that was secondhand. But yeah, it got an overall score of 7.3, which is very good. It would have got a score of almost 9 if it hadn't been for all the variability. But I can't do anything about that. I can't change the numbers just because one spinner does something a little bit funny. So that's the Grave Raven, and it does come highly recommended. I don't really like the price of it, but it's a very nice little spinner.